Go.
Yeah, they're the best team in the competition at being able to take the ball from one end of the ground to the other. And the one thing they do when they've got the ball is they really test you out. Yep. They made Melbourne look really quite silly at times defensively last week, but they come up tonight against a team a team that I don't think we've ever seen these sort of numbers before, where you're great offensively, you're great defensively, you win contests and you apply pressure. They are staggering numbers.
And even that ball movement, number 7 down the bottom, over the last month, Ed, they've been number 2. Yeah. So if the Bulldogs want to play that sort of game, Geelong can do it as well. This is going to be fascinating to see how the Bullies try to break them down. That
profile, really, I mean, we put those numbers up. You just don't see that level of performance in every phase of the game.
That's why if the finals were next week, they'd win it. They'd be winning it.
So Harry Taylor back. Good to have him back in the side. As you said, Zach Tui as well. Talk about another guy who can lace the ball out and go forward and stick a couple of goals as well.
And forget about your personnel, Ed. When you're putting that sort of pressure on the opposition, you're going to win more games than not.
Yeah, Chris Scott, his coaching this year, I think, has been incredible as well. So twice, this is the third time in the last month that Geelong have come up against a contender or a side that is threatening and looks quite dangerous. So they dismissed St Kilda by 10 goals. They did the same against Port Adelaide, and both of those games, Chris Scott just took away their weapons. So they got the game on their terms from the word go, and their ability to adapt from week to week. They always play a semblance of their game, but they're really good at being able to take away the opposition's strengths. So it'll be interesting to see what they do to the Dogs tonight.
Of all the clubs in the competition, for whatever reason, I just think the synergy between Chris Scott and his senior players is stronger or better.
Green. Alistair Lynch will give us some mail about what's going on in that at half-time. Don't think there's much wind up there at the moment. Beautiful conditions as always.
Yeah, the experience of Geelong, I think, is telling as well for Chris Scott, because you can pull reins within a game.
They can make decisions out.
That's right. When you've got a team of kids, it's hard for them to react, but when you've got the senior players, they've been there, done that before. They've seen every version of the game, so they can pull those cards within the course of a quarter or a game.
When we look back, what will that number be when it says 2020 versus Keith?
Don't get beaten by what you know tonight. I think if you're the Bulldogs, so let's see Keith go to him. But Easton Wood, Hayden Crozier, really good intercept players. Overplay Tom Hawkins, force the Cats to beat you through another avenue. He's accounting for about 30% of their goals at the moment, Tomahawk. So if you're sending 2v1 to him...
Look at the size of the man. I mean, seriously, look at that man mountain.
That's how you look when I had your poster on my wall. You look something like that, Jason.
Jason,
it's still in there somewhere. I just don't know where it's gone, really.
Covered the wall too, didn't it? Notice how they've got the oiled arms up at the moment. So what they're doing, particularly the midfielders, are oiling the arms to try and stick the tackles.
No, he's just come straight off the beach.
Yeah, have a look at him. Looks magnificent.
So there it is. Keith goes to him.
Keith goes to him, and away we go. It's Geelong and the Western Bulldogs. Top 4 for the Cats, top 8 for the Dogs.
And English, along with Stanley. English will probably get the first extraction. He does, and straight onto the beautiful stroke of Bonampelli on the left boot. College Jazz. Such is the sparseness of crowds, only allowed a certain number in here to Metricon Stadium. Stanley over the back. Bonampelli, perhaps Harold Dunkley, handball Richards. Blitzarves with the tackle. Cam Guthrie in there. Hasn't he had a fantastic year, Cam Guthrie? I reckon there's the 3 of them this year, Duck. Hawkins, Menegola and Guthrie have all, they played every game between them, and they've all had spectacular years.
All in good form.
So Dunkley doing the ruck work, allowing Stanley to go. Daisy talked about them pre-match. McRae on the up, back to Hunter, both left-footers, so they were obliged to handball. Daniel finds Dunkley. He's a good kick, Dunkley.
Nice to see you, Tom. Thank you. Yeah, right here.
Really emerged, so I think last year more than any other year, Dunkley. I mean, the year before he was, but last year he went from good to very good, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He's a big-bodied midfielder, but you see there, Daniel, really good user of the foot. He's smart. They want it in his hands.
So what, 45 metres out, not much of an angle, holding the line. Good start. Doggies on the board.
So good to be going to a wedding again. beautiful, isn't it? Jeez, I've missed that.
Rediscover the road with Corolla Ascent Sport Petrol from $98 per week with Toyota Access. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Entry, 1 goal.
We spoke about the handball of the Dogs. Well, usually through the middle of the ground. This is in the forward line. They went a long way back to give Daniel that opportunity to set that up. But that's the most important kick inside 50. Beautiful, nice, good vision. And then Dunkley, as you've said, becoming more reliable as a goal kicker. His dad was a bit of an awkward kick. He's picked up a few of those traits, but I'm prepared to say he's a better kick than his dad.
Yep. Just kicked the 3 goals. Well, 4 now. 4 straight this year he's kicked. Mollison with the bounce in the middle. That'll be recalled as a disadvantaged Stanley.
Be very surprised if Geelong hadn't spoken about the effect of Caleb Daniel in the build-up to this game, so you'd think they'll want to get pressure on that kick that we saw before.
Danger with his socks up really high. Libba, Dangerfield and Liberatore. 2 hard nuts to win that contested ball. Well done in there by Dunkley. English goes back in, surrounded by Geelong players. Guthrie tries to rip it out. Dunkley and McRae with him.
Thanks, Cam.
Just looking at the personnel in that centre square a moment ago, the Dogs every bit as good as the Cats, and some may be. So Guthrie there. And he's going to go.
No genuine temp,
so
Cam.
Dunkley with it. So they had Libba, McRae and Bontempelli roving to English. It's a pretty good trio, isn't it? Ball getting out wide. Back from Blitzarves to Henry, and then Henry. So Geelong just a tiny bit cold, aren't they?
Funny old start, Bruce.
Yep.
No attempt was the decision there from the umpire against Cam Guthrie. Richards. Strange start, a lot of quietness about it. Bruce, run over the shoulder, almost the free. McLean. Hunter needs to gather. Does. Got one coming the right way, and Crozier kicks a lovely goal. Dogs off to a 2-goal start.
What's the focus for today? Yeah, all week at training we spoke about a Big Mac, but I'll tell you what, I might even get a quarter pounder.
Winners get dinners with Macca's and Uber Eats. Order before halftime and enter your team's code. If they win, you win.
Or cheeseburger.
We've made changes for businesses worried about cyber attacks. Now, a specialised team can help manage and protect your business with cybersecurity services.
Well, the Western Bulldogs goal here coming in a very similar way, prepared to go back by hand to find space in their attempt to come forward and get that shot on goal. Just relieved pressure, took it away from where all those Geelong defenders were.
And 2 half-backs involved in their first goal, Daniel and then Crozier. So getting up the ground, and they're both good ball users. So it makes sense to have them further up the ground and going inside 50 and also having shots at goal.
First goal for him this year.
Yeah.
Kicked a few at the Dockers, and he's got a lovely leg. We know that's
a player.
No, and he's even a better player now, Duckers, and he's had 2 or 3 terrific seasons. So English and Stanley. So Cats need a quick response. Perfect. That's their first foray forward. Wood had to search for it. Gardner was pretty good there. Myers got over the ball. Gardner won it out. Now he has to get it out. He does. Dalhouse, who won a premiership with his team, to Duncan. Duncan looking for Hawkins and just slightly overcooked, and you saw Tom say just down a little lower. So Cats get a stoppage forward 50.
Yeah, could have almost gone for goal himself then, Duncan. So the Cats first foray forward. Hawkins knocked down. Smith there. Atkins there as well. Little flick kick and a first score for the Cats coming some 6 minutes in. So Daniel, their most reliable short kick from full back on his non-preferred side. Did pretty well to get it to the advantage of Norton Taylor. Menegola, little party trick from Parfitt over the top. Jack Stephen went down to get the footy. Gave it back to Menegola. And Bailey Williams, who's become a real strong part of this defence for the Dogs.
Having a terrific season. It's his 14th game, which equals his career high in any season. Norton, lovely mark.
Thank you.
6 goals a couple of weeks ago against the Crows. Hunter, so good to see him back playing. Always gets a lot of the ball. Poor handball by Bruce, and Bontempelli sort of bit casual as well, but what an opportunity missed there.
Yeah, sloppy handball from Bruce, lazy.
And that one from Nagola cut off by Johannesson, so the Dogs to go back into forward 50.
And he does with a high ball. Gee, that was a good mark. Bontempelli, not knowing was it coming from behind him, took a really good mark.
Have a look at this poor handball. That's just laziness. Got time and space to use that handball. And saw here when Bontempelli takes this mark, Daisy, wanted to give it off, because if he does have a weakness, it is this part of his game. He doesn't look comfortable when he's having set shots. So the first instinct then was to give it off. Now he's got to go back and kick a skipper's goal.
So right behind him, and that's pretty nice. So Bontempelli, great start for the Dogs. They're 3 straight.
In life, there are those that say they'll do and those that actually do. Choosing Insurance Keith, it's worth a closer look. Some don't offer free roadside assist for a year, but Amy does with a new Amy Comprehensive Car Insurance Policy.
Hello, Keith.
Some don't have one dedicated home claims manager, but Amy does. Easy choice, really, hey Keith? Go with the doers. Amy does.
Lucky you're with Amy.
Well, there's the coach, Luke Beveridge. It was his birthday during the week, and players always onto things like this. A little surprise for him as he walked into the room. He had an inkling that something maybe was going on, but it was a big party, a little subdued in the way the players went about it. They weren't sure how to approach it. It's a nice touch from the boys, and I believe the players, Bruce, actually organised that, so well done to them.
They're having some fun, aren't they? Gee, luckily he wasn't coming in to tear strips off somebody, but they'd won the week before and the week before that, so they might have been safe. So, gee, the Cats, 3 goals down early. Bontempelli, Dunkley and Crozier, the goal scorers. Stephen to Stanley. Sloppy handball to Guthrie. Hunter weaves his way through. Chris Scott's not going to like this. Lovely kick to Norton.
With me, Harry. Harry, with me. Thank you.
You can tell down here at ground level just how composed the Bulldogs are. At the moment, they're running at 100% by foot, where the Cats are going at 29. Just their composure. They've looked inside forward 50. They've had 4 or 5 marks inside forward 50 at this stage. So moving the ball is exactly what Luke Beveridge would have wanted.
Norton's kick, and just offline, 4 behind. So 1 missed, but they haven't missed too much so far.
And you can see what Norton's trying to do. Got a mark way back up on the half-back flank just a few minutes ago, that time leading outside 50. So trying to run the older Harry Taylor around.
Johannesson to Crozier. Neat little kick to Hunter. Another left footer. Bontempelli keeps going. They all dropped off. Henry. He was able to avoid the tackle. Centering ball is good. Norton the target. Dalhouse did well for a small in there. It'll knock down Norton. Hayes involved. Got it to Wallace. Caleb Daniel high ball and just didn't get enough bend on it. Minor score. 7th game at Metricon Stadium this year for the Western Bulldogs. 4-2 their record as it stands prior to this game.
Good kick by Chewy. Gets to Henderson. So can the Cats get any cohesion? They've been missing targets and missing tackles early, haven't they? Here's Myers. Good player. Hasn't hit the scoreboard as regularly this year. He had the 4 against, I think it was North Melbourne in the 1 game. But his numbers are all right, but he hasn't been goaling quite as regularly. Maybe playing a slightly different role. Stephen, Colin Jasny. He doesn't worry the goal scorers, we know that. And here's Crozier who has tonight. So, again, missing a target, Geelong. They've done it a lot.
Crozier, Richards. And again, Hunter. Got the left footers working well on that side of the track at the moment. High ball, and Norton outdoes Henderson again. This time much closer in, looking to give it off here. And he does. It just travels the 15. And Liver's got a shot from 35.
And I'm not sure whether they've made a change, because what cat defenders do, they'll just roll up, they'll swap over depending, and you can see there Henderson ends up on Norton, and that's a good solid grab, as you see Harry Taylor. Good protection too from Wallace. Just see him get in between Harry Taylor there.
So Liver in front. This is the perfect start here from the Western Bulldogs. They have got 4 first quarter goals already.
What I'm looking forward to in the future is a house filled with books, laughter and overrun by dogs. I want North Sun, too many photos and friends old and new. I want drinks flowing and bread broken. I just really want what I have today.
The more life changes, the more you know what's important. MLC, life unchanging.
Great contested mark here from Norton, which it's unlike the Geelong defence where it's just a one-on-one. They normally have someone coming over the top, where you see Harry Taylor getting taken out there by Wallace. Perfect mark, but then he's had the composure to look inside, find the spare, and they go back and kick their 4th goal. But you're right, Daisy, what I've been saying with the ball movement. Geelong coming out of defence doesn't look like what they normally do. They're normally hitting targets, running, carrying, and getting into Hawkins. But the Bulldogs' defence, mix that with their composure going inside 50, looking really good at the moment.
So you've considered the Geelong in the last 3 matches have conceded 4, 4 and 5 goals in those 3 matches, and already 4 tonight in no time at all. I just feel like they're cold. I don't know what Hodgie's sitting there closer to us. You just feel like they are so cold, the Cats, Luke, don't you?
Yeah, I think you can't take it away from the Bulldogs. Their intensity around the ball, you said they're hunting, they're working together, and they're just getting the ball inside forward 50, as we see again.
Yep, Smith, Wallace, gets the Norton again. I said Wallace almost his first crack, but Norton over the top. Back to Wallace, beautiful hands, and Dunkley hits the post. Well, we saw Essendon last night, so you can come from behind this year by a long way, but look at Norton there. But BT, one more goal, and I am hitching my wagon to the Dogs.
8-3 inside 50s, Bruce. Enright starting to use the footy here now, close. Half back, need to get some touches through. A lot of hands. The Cats get a feel of it. Hawkins solid as he works up to the wing, though. In front of Keith. Centering ball, got space here. Kolajasny loves to pump it inside 50. He does, to the advantage of Myers. Thought he could have almost got there, only he would know that. It looked like it was going to make it easy.
He looked a little confused.
Confused by Zach Tui coming down into his space, and Doug, you're probably the best person to ask, but right away usually to the person running at the footy.
Exactly right. You've got to, well, you call the player back. If there's any doubt, you've got to be calling that player, although Tui was facing the footy as well.
So Hawkins, Dangerfield, slid the handball there. High footy punched through by Gardner.
And no excuses, you can't hear the voice without the big crowds there, BT.
Yep.
That was Dangerfield's first touch then, but it's pretty noticeable to hear the intensity around the stoppage, and that's what Selwood normally brings. The skipper's out for the game, but Geelong just missing that hard edge that he brings every week.
Good call, Hodgie. So McRae from Smith, he put him under pressure. Smith got into views a bit. Hayes did well. McLean's handball. Dunkley's had a fine start, hasn't he? Smith continues to excel. Back they come. McRae in trouble. I think he's gone.
Bulldogs.
Oh, hi.
Hi, guys.
Luke, is someone injured?
Yeah, Vandermeer's walking off. He's just thrown his mouth guard towards the bench. Physio's run out to him. He shook his head, put his hands in his... He put his head in his hands just then and walking very slowly. So it looks like a lower leg, calf, hamstring. I'm guessing I'll go and have a closer look.
See what we can find there.
And he's going straight down to the rooms, guys.
Thanks, Hodgie. Daniel now plays on. Thought about the real short one to Liver. Chewed off a little bit more to Hayes. So Hayes back in the side, hadn't played a game this year. Dixon back into the side, hadn't played a game this year. Only had the one debutant this year, the Western Bulldogs. Here's Hunter.
Thank you.
And that's the bloke off the ground at the moment, BT Vandermeer.
Exactly.
Mark, you're going up, hold the meter.
Not looking good, Bruce, I wouldn't have thought.
No, in trouble for the night, you'd say gone, just about. So Dunkley over the top here. And another stoppage.
Have we got Tim? Mark?
English, Blitzars, Guthrie. In the end, just couldn't quite get a handle on, so he had to go towards the line. Hunter's been prolific early, dangerous kick. Oh, well done there by Bruce, the half volley, then Buse to Stewart, to Guthrie, well-weighted handball, and then off the step, Duncan, probably just wants the line. Well done by Keith, and then whacks it back in. Where's Norton? No, it was English in the front spot. Hunter, still with Hunter, goes back to McRae, and then McRae just misses Smith, but great pressure from the Dogs.
Yeah, real theme. They're getting repeat entries, but that theme to spit the ball out the back to give themselves time and space to get on shot on goal. And what they're also doing, the Dogs, they're isolating the Cat defenders. So they're getting one-on-ones, something the Cats, they like to get that third man up and support one another.
Here's the Dunkley Blitzarves duel in the ruck.
Back here.
Part of the reason they're getting one-on-ones too is those turnovers. You just get no time at all to be able to get numbers back, get settled. So that's why they're looking uncharacteristically at sea at times.
So Duncan, Guthrie, Henderson, being pushed back here, the Cats. Dogs really good at getting across the ground in this defensive transition. Can they go back the other way now? Can Guthrie keep going? Libba did well to waste a bit of time and give the defenders the chance to cover this side of the ground now.
This front time because you won't look at the ball. Time back on and you've knocked his arms.
So a couple of changes of direction, couldn't find a way out. So now Guthrie, as a result of that, just forced to kick it long down the line here. High footy, punch away spills with Henderson. Little handball Dangerfield on his non-preferred. Got to be perfect is, and Hawkins marks. And he'll go back, and set shot distance here shouldn't be a problem. We know that he's good at that and has been in really good touch this year. So just watch for him to aim it just inside the left goal post here.
15 gone.
That was a beautiful kick there from Dangerfield. As a defender, that's the worst position to be in. He had space out the back, he had space in front of him, and Danger's left sat at right the right spot there for Hawkins to run onto.
So Hawkins, nice firm grip on the footy. And that is way left in the end. So the Cats just can't get it rolling at the moment. 4-3-27 the Dogs. Geelong yet to kick a goal, but that was beautiful from Dangerfield.
Especially running it at full speed as well.
Makes it look way easier than it is. On his non-preferred with immediate pressure coming at him in Bailey Smith.
So, talking of Baileys, Williams did well. Here's Hayes. Lovely hand. So he's made a good start, Will Hayes. Daniel again, normally constructed as a beautiful kick. Got it over the back to Richards. Natural left footer. Lovely kick to full forward. They just hung in the end, and Menegola was able to cut across in front.
Save the day, Menegola. Great work from their winger. That's a big part of the role of a wingman, to slide down in behind your defence when they get caught out, as he has done there. But that was the Western Bulldogs handball that hurt the Geelong defence then. They got caught too close, too high up the ground.
Don't see that transition against the Cats all that often, do you? Geelong like to control so much of it. Ball squeezes out, Dunkley, Libba, Richards a left footer, he's a good kick, he's goal, they have got 5.
I'm definitely a DIY dad. I've always loved to build, refurbish, get something and then make it beautiful. This is what I think I'm good at, and this is where my passion lies. When I think about my childhood, if something needed fixed around the house, I do it with my dad. And I look forward to being that role model for my son as my dad was for me. I'm very easy to buy for. It's always been something from Bunnings. Bunnings Warehouse. Definitely Dad's happy place for Father's Day.
And once again, that handball out the back. And just room and space then to get what is an easy shot. Little bit of pressure, but just not enough. That's a good finish.
It was from Ed Richards, so they kicked their 5th goal, and that has got the fans up and about in the Toyota fan zone. But Scotty West, bottom left, the 7-time best and fairest superstar, I think it is. Is it? It was him, wasn't it?
Hard to tell with him.
Oh, middle right he was. Oh, okay. Didn't think it looked like him. Anyway, he was there somewhere, apparently. Simon Meriden. Bontempelli. Stephen. Entry inside 50 here. Myers had it knocked away. Well done. Gardner. Dalhouse to Parfitt. Taken away by Johannesson. Looking to go long. Still 3 minutes to go in the quarter here. Kick 5 already, and Norton's all over the shop at the moment, doing a great job.
That was a different sort of mark, but just as spectacular, wasn't it?
And look where he's taking it. So right up on centre wing, he's working really hard.
Good handball to English. English, neat little kick. Just probably asked a little bit of Bruce, and then Stewart to Henry. Under such pressure, this Cat defence that are so poised normally, aren't they? English, that's a good tackle. He's in trouble.
Holding ball. Geelong.
So Atkins is going to get his first disposal in the opening term. So what a test day for arguably the informed team in the competition, giving a decent contender a 5-goal start. Here's Duncan.
Over the top. Minagola, likewise to Myers. Now Myers closing on the 50. That incredible looking action. Libba got back, split 2 Cats players, and the receive from Gardner as well, and then sends it long on the left. Crozier been good in the air today. McLean to gather, kept it alive, thought about Bonampelli. And good stuff. Look at the Dogs fans in the stands enjoying it. 30-point leaders as we close in on quarter time.
Cats haven't had a goalless opening term this season. So, conceding 5 here at the moment. So, still plenty of time for Geelong to hit that scoreboard. They need to. Henry gets it forward. That is a fantastic mark by Crozier. Under real heat. To McRae. Johannesson. So often the barometer, Johannesson, for this team, isn't it? Hunter's long ball down the line, and they're catching them everywhere. Bruce quickly on. Now English, probably not the right to go to in a situation like this. Oh, he did well though. Richards comes back inside, and McLean's got it. They are slicing the Cats apart.
10 metres.
It's that composure you're talking about, Bruce, there. That's the Bulldogs' Crozier's mark here down in the defensive 50, but that's the Bulldogs' 6th mark inside 50 for the quarter. Geelong only give up 7 per game. So you just sort of see here, good pressure there, but I like the little tap here from English who snuck forward out the back, but then, as we've spoken about so many times, they looked up, they've sent it the corridor to a teammate in a better position.
And their contested marks around the ground have been so important. Wing half back, absolutely done. He's got it. He's got it. And they've got half a dozen. This is hard to get your head around.
Sunday, 7 o'clock. It's here.
There is a story behind every dish. Its origin, its heritage, its culture.
It's not just a cooking competition. It's a celebration of why we live in this beautiful country.
Expect pride in who you are and how you cook. And expect food that you'll want to cook at home.
Let the flames begin!
Plates of Origin starts Sunday at 7 on 7.
We've made changes for those who can't talk right now. Message us anytime in the My Telstra app.
We also said, Bruce, that their best is good enough, and right now the Dogs are playing their best football.
We're seeing their best, aren't we? That handball game just chopping Geelong up. They've already scored 25 points from turnover in this game, the Dogs, and Geelong usually concede 28 in an entire match.
And with the short quarters, 36 points is a long way back. I know it's just completing the first quarter, but it is a long way back. Stephen to Dalhouse. Can they make something happening in the last few seconds? And great pressure. Too high. But you love the ferocity and the intensity by Wood. Guthrie wanting to know how long left. Chipped the little ball out wide. Close. Couldn't pick it up cleanly. Got around Hunter. Was able to keep Yarns free. Dalhouse quick. Gave it to Minagola. High ball. Will the mark count? Or will the siren sound? It sounds. And the Western Bulldogs were slick and fast and classy and ready to play. 6 first quarter goals. 6 goals, 3, 39. The Cats just 3 behinds.
Coming up next on Friday Night Football, Mitch Duncan from the Cats joins us live out of the quarter-time huddle. What was Chris Scott's message? Find out next. And later, best mates Joel Selwood and Tom Hawkins face off in Celebrity Head. And post-match, must-see TV, who will roam the winners' rooms. It's the big stage Friday Night Football.
Just a reminder, there's still time to order your Maccas via the Uber Eats app before half-time. Enter the team you think will win as the promo code, and if your team wins, then you win dinner from Maccas. Now, our own Campbell Brown is on board. He's nominated Geelong to win. If they win, Brownie wins. So just make sure you order your Maccas via the Uber Eats app before half-time. I'm going to say Geelong too.
The 2020 Toyota AFL Premiership season is brought to you by Amy, who covers clangers. Amy does.
Good evening. There's been a terrible double fatality at Strathalbyn. A 70-year-old female driver and her 84-year-old passenger have died in a head-on crash. West Lakes residents should know by late next week the extent of PFAS contamination in their suburb, and online car sellers are being warned to watch out for scammers using fake electronic receipts. 25 degrees expected tomorrow. Enjoy the sunshine.
From hillside vineyards, distillery walls and brewery floors, Dan Murphy's delivers, contactless and to your door. Shop now at danmurphys.com.au. Drink responsibly.
It's a smart time to switch to solar. Purchase a Solar Hut solar water heater and get a $700 trade-in on your gas or electric water heater. Plus, get 60 months interest.
Of the 2000 Copa Libertadores semifinal here on BN.
League will seek to remove him.
In my arms, man.
Easy as you'll find it with this very, very
unplanned for whatever reason this morning.
Well, let's see what happens when they come back out again. Thanks ever so much, Karun. But as Paul mentioned a few moments ago, only the 2 Williams are behind Ferrari in the timings, with the 2 Hasses and Antonio Giovinazzi yet to set a time in this race. Not quite sure why Giovinazzi's not had a time on the board. We've not really looked into his side of the Alpha garage. We did just see Valtteri Bottas with a big lock-up, gentlemen, at the bus stop chicane.
Yeah, it was an odd place to lock up as well. Generally, if you're going to lock into the bus stop, the front it would generally be on the bump, but it was mid-brake, so that tells me you're probably making a change to the engine braking or the recharge going through the hybrid element of it, because that's generally where the impact comes in with the pedal. You'll see this bump on the onboard there, but he locked up like here, way into the brakes. Surprised it's not got a bigger flat spot actually, because it was solid all the way in.
Yeah,
but you can see how
see it, can't you?
So slow in the exit of that last chicane, isn't it? It's the second part of it, and that's why it's so crucial when you're putting an attack on somebody.
It's a horrible chicane to drive, but you have to respect it in the same way, because it is so tricky and it can be so detrimental to your lap time if you get it wrong. And these cars in particular, after enjoying the speed of them through the high-speed stuff and all medium-speed corners, it really feels like it's out of its comfort zone going that slowly. You suddenly feel the weight of the car and how lethargic it is in its change of direction there.
Bottom right dial on the steering wheel. What's he changing on the Kemmel Straight?
I wasn't watching the bottom right dial.
He's got 3 dials, and it's the bottom.
Come on, Dan, you should know off the top of your head. You drive this time of the simulator.
It's some Mercedes. It's the powertrain setting. Yeah.
Right. He's turned it all the way to the left-hand side. So what does that mean?
Well, the rotor just gives you different options of numbers. So it's got, I think, 12 or 14 numbers as you go around. Like all of them will have is the McLaren electronic system that they run, all teams. And then within those 14 options, you have another 12 or 14 options on the buttons to go up and down. So they could say to him, so like the bottom right rotor.
100 points for the Force in Super Rugby. There's another couple.
102.
17-14. Wow. They were out of sorts last week, the Western Force. They were determined to be.
Extraordinary case.
Crime Investigation Australia. Sunday 8:30 on 7.
Quarter time break.
And they roll the Reds 40-26. So upsets are possible.
Good catch there from Jeremy Thrush. The importance of catching that kick-off in the restart, so important.
Lee Warner has been impressive.
Yeah, he's looking for the offload there.
You put yourself there.
Lafanga, one of the form hookers earlier on the bench tonight though, so he'll be looking to make some amends. And Tom Banks kept it in the field of play before it crossed the line of touch. So Kunzuk, it's a wild pass, but